I'm Allison, and this is Nellie. And normally we'd be out having some kind of outdoor adventure in our camper, roughing it in the city instead of commuting to work and taking the occasional far-flung vacation. But this time, I've taken a little detour from my detours to start a project I've been pondering for a while. Back in 2022, I left my cozy 400 square foot tiny house to fulfill a little hobby farm fantasy of mine. Turns out the laws where I live are written precisely to keep folks from easily moving a tiny house to land, so I went with a more normal-sized farmhouse on a modest amount of acreage that I could maintain by myself. Now that I've spent the last few years catching up the maintenance and battling back mountains of blackberries, I decided over my annual New Year's camping trip that this was the year I'd start actually producing something of value in my backyard, which is currently home to lizards, snakes, rabbits, coyotes, raccoons, possums, deer, and the occasional feral cat, none of which are paying rent. Don't worry though, we're only starting with 1/10 of an acre, so there's plenty of space and blackberries left to share with these neighbors. 1/10 of an acre might not sound like much until you start calculating the amount of compost you're going to need to cover it. And how many thousands of wheelbarrow trips that adds up to. Literally thousands. Then it seems like plenty for one person to handle on their own as their side gig. So since January, I've been taking most of every moment of spare time I have and putting it towards starting a proper hobby farm. Building fences, hauling dirt, sprouting plants, running irrigation, getting paperwork in order, setting up cold storage, applying to farmers markets, the whole potato. And I've learned a lot. But it's not potatoes, or even vegetables really, that I'm growing. At least not yet. See, you would have to be insane, or just insanely wealthy, to look around at the state of the farming industry and decide to grow the kinds of crops that would compete with those of the big industrial farms. On 5 acres, scale is not exactly on my side. That left me with an idea I've had tumbling around in my head that can turn a decent profit per acre. And just the idea of it has been an ongoing source of excitement and joy for the last 6 months of prep. And that idea is specialty cut flowers. Yep, I started a flower farm. To call it a farm, though, at 1/10 of an acre seems preposterous until you realize you can get thousands of blooms out of that 1/10 of an acre. Our first crop involves about 500 dahlia plants. As of recording this, I've sprouted and potted hundreds of them. And I'm getting ready to stick them in the ground just as fast as I can get out there and dig 500 holes. Someday I hope to have the kind of money coming in that I can divert a decent amount of it to a large vegetable garden that would feed folks in my community for free. But for now, I'm laying the groundwork. Literally, I'm still shoveling actual ground. So I welcome you, dear viewer, whoever you are, wherever you are, however you found me, to Nellie's Fine Flowers, where I have limited experience growing indoor plants, and I have buried what used to be our motorcycle fund in the backyard just to see what would happen. Just myself, 500 dahlias, 1 ornery basset hound, and farmers market days gaining on us fast. So subscribe to watch the flowers grow. You can also find us on Instagram at Nellie's Fine Flowers and sign up for our newsletter at nelliesfineflowers.com. All of these things support our efforts, and we, especially Nellie, would really appreciate it. Thanks for wandering into our garden. I hope we see you around again soon.
Don't eat that. No.